May I remind you that trading is risky and not suitable for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Welcome to QuantBox Daily. Today is Wednesday, March 29th. What is QuantBox? QuantBox is your global macroeconomic Quant-in-a-Box. It's an amazing tool, very powerful tool that gives you a fundamental bias by taking a number of fundamental data points, collating them in a dashboard for you, and consistently updating them in the background while you can do the important things like focusing on confirming your fundamental bias using technical analysis. It takes a massive amount of work off your shoulders. And the beautiful thing is it's there all the time whenever you log in. We'll go through it in a second. The first thing is, though, I want to be trials is 790. If you like what I have to show you in this webinar today, and you feel like it can add value to your trading, which it absolutely can, give it a bash. So here we are on the dashboard. Here's our score chart summary. This is a list of all the currency pairs with their bias, okay? So you can see here, yesterday, USD ZAR, USD CAD, gold. Now we got Kiwi CAD and Euro Swiss that joined the party. These all are neutrals, okay? And then some sells down here. Now, yesterday we spoke about what makes up these biases, okay? And we said that when you go and look at a currency pair, like for example, let's look at Euro Swissy under the cross currencies, you'll see a score chart summary, okay? We spoke about what makes up the score chart summary yesterday, specifically focusing on COT data and then fundamental data. So for example, right now on Euro Swissy, you've got COT data being bullish, the score of 2, and you've got a couple of red items under your list, okay, in your column over here. What does that mean? Well, it means you've got the market's currently long Euro Swissy, and there's some bearish data points. Well, that might have an effect on your overall chart. And what you could be doing is you could be paying attention to, is COT data leading a change in fundamental data? With fundamental data leading a change in COT data? In the meantime, can you continue to buy Euro Swissy, or can you buy Euro Swissy? Now, a good example of a pair which has got solid numbers across the board would be USD ZAR. So looking at USD ZAR, you can see here, USD ZAR is pretty green, right? Except for interest rates. So here, you're not too concerned about things changing. However, you will have to pay attention to where price is from a positional perspective. Let's jump into it. So the first one being USD ZAR. Let's go to our charts and have a gander. So USD ZAR we spoke about yesterday, of course, and we said, we've got price at the bottom of the range, not in a great place for buy, but nonetheless, it was actually previous to the price at the bottom of the range. You can see price came down yesterday again at 8 o'clock, Asia, back to the bottom of the range, okay? And price had come up yesterday and come down. I think we were up here yesterday morning. Let's have a look. 28th, yes, down here, okay? I said to you, looking for a higher high, higher low. Now you can see you haven't had one on a lower time frame chart, okay? Now again, looking at the daily, not a massive fan of where we are right now. However, bias is bullish, and a higher high, higher low is a higher high, higher low. So if you get that, then go for it. Just be aware of how long you're going to hold that trade for. Now, right now, you can see price breaking through this level over here, coming down, test that as support. Price then coming up, coming down, price coming up. So what you've got now is you've got price currently breaking higher. You're looking for a pullback to support the 21 above the 55. If you did trade that, you'd have to look and see where you take profit. So you got the top of the range all the way up here. Okay. You've also got some resistance just over here. So there's no telling how high this goes. However, we can confirm that price came up, came down, didn't make a lower low. In a buy zone, now typically buy zones take us to target zones. However, this is sideways. So you're not too trusting of the pivot points, okay? So you're going to use structural analysis to identify target. So you're looking for a target of top of range, okay? So you can see top of range is currently up here and over here. Of course, you have got this resistance just left of you as well, okay? So if you get a high, high, higher low, you could be taking price all the way up to this profit-taking zone over here, which does tie into your buy zone between daily M2 and daily pivot point. But you need that higher low. If price comes up and comes down for a higher low, just have a look at your M5 and your M1 and make sure they're all bullish too. Okay? It'll keep you out of trouble. Cool. Let's have a look. USD CAD coming through. Now, we spoke about this yesterday again, like what makes USD CAD bullish. Take a look at yesterday's webinar. You'll see what we're paying attention to in terms of this data over here. Now, you can see instead of jumping down to those pairs, it's right here. Okay, so you can say, oh, USD CAD. What do we got? COT data is a 2. That's important to me. You see, like you can see here with Kiwi CAD, it's a 4, but COT data is a 0, which means that I've got all this data on the right-hand side here, but I've got no institutional traders currently buying. I want that to be green, okay? I want to be on the, because it's the big gorillas that move the market. I want to see them moving so I can move with them. However, you don't just abandon this now. You have a look at this number over here and you see, well, is it going to change this Friday? Okay. Will the report next Monday suddenly show a different number of you? You can make a note of that and say, I'm looking for Kiwi CAD. I'm looking to see, do these numbers bring us down? We can't really go down, but does that turn us bearish? Or do we see some change over here and suddenly go bullish? Ultimately, are institutional traders buying Kiwi CAD? Now, in USD CAD, you can see, yes, they are. There's a 2 there, okay? Great. We got some red items over here, retail sentiment, inflation, fair enough. Lots of green, though, and a nice green over there. So let's look at USD CAD. Now, yesterday, we spoke about this. We were sitting over here yesterday, okay? And I said to you, we had price, it was 4 o'clock over here, okay? Bottom of the range, the wicks count. They do indeed. You wouldn't sell down here, my friends. Also, you got price coming down, coming back up to 21 EMA. That's fine, cool. You've now got price to profit taking zone. M15, you never, ever, ever got. Oh, excuse me. You never, ever got the higher low. Look what happened here. Price came up, came up, came up, came up. Price came down. Now, over here, you would have got price chilling at a 21 EMA and would have been the case of, oh, let me go buy. Let me show you why you use the M5 chart in that situation. So you would have said, okay, I've got price closing at support. I'm ready to go. This is a green light. Let me go check my lower time frames. On the M5 time frame, when price was forming that on the M15, look what the M5 looks like. Price made a lower high. That's not bullish. So M5 would have saved you from just pulling the trigger at that support. Okay. And if M5 was bullish, i.e., it wasn't showing lower lows and lower highs, price was coming back to 21 EMA. I mean, what you could do in the situation is if price forms that, you could say, well, okay, if this is bullish, give me a higher low. And it didn't. It would have stopped you from buying. And if it did, you can go to the M1 and confirm that M1 is also bullish. Okay. That's all you can do. You got this opportunity. You got this bottom of the range. You got this bullish bias. So what do? You verify technically. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you don't trade. Beautiful, right? Lovely. The important thing is you're verifying your trades properly so you don't lose money, right? Now, in terms of today, you've now got USD CAD at a profit-taking zone, okay? Great. So bears are looking for price to pull back up to resistance, take this lower down. Resistance 21 EMA, fair enough. What you're doing now is you're saying, okay, cool, I'm a bull, so I'm looking for opportunities to buy at a profit-taking zone. So now, same story as previously. You're looking for higher highs, higher lows, any indication that this is bullish. You can see there, look at that. Price came up, price pulled back down. Now, this candle closed here, sort of around 12 a.m. candle, 4 a.m. candle. That's fine. So you've got price coming up, coming down. The 21 has not crossed the 55. You're waiting for that to happen. You're looking for price to pull back down to support. That can be the 21 EMA or a roll reversal. Once that happens, go to M5, verify there, go to M1, verify there, and off you go, off to the races. If that doesn't happen and price is going to go down to a further level down here, or price comes up to resistance, you won't get that bullishness you're looking for, okay? It'll produce something like this. Might not look like this. It might look like a bit of a higher high, higher low, but M5 it won't, okay? Somewhere along the line, you won't have total bullishness, okay? Verify your bullishness down the line, and you should be fine. Great. Nice, that rhymes. All right, cool. Let's look at gold. Gold, we got COT data, 1 with a whole bunch of data over here. Cool. Number 4, fantastic. We've been looking at gold lately. Take a look. Here's our gold. You can see here, friends. I mean, like, are we really buying at a profit-taking zone? I don't think so. I really don't. Nothing's changed, though, to make this bearish. Okay. You can see here, we just match this along. Okay. Cool. So you can so you can see here, you know, there's not much to do in terms of like you can't buy it. First of all, you're out of position and you're in a range. Okay, so not much you can do there. So what you could do is say, well, I wouldn't mind selling at the profit-taking zone, but nothing's changing to make this bearish. Got some bearish data over here. Okay, otherwise bullish. COT data still says the market's buying, so you shouldn't be selling right now, okay? Of course, if this number is coming down, there are changes. Let's have a look and see if we can tell if our COT data is going up or coming down. Because, you know, we want to measure that change, right? So we can go to our gold. We can take a look and say, well, what's actually happening with our COT data? What have I got? Okay, COT data, long has increased on the dollar. Long has increased on gold, okay? See, long, short. Okay, so that means that arrow for up. I'm not seeing the data I need to see to start selling this. Do you see how QuantBox is much more than just like a, hey, look, here's a buy, go ahead and buy. It's so much more detailed than that, right? This number over here tells you, am I seeing the decrease in bullishness that I like to see so that I can go into gold and sell it at a profit-taking zone? Without QuantBox, you don't have that data. You're sitting here looking at a chart going, I don't know, right? Cool. Okay, let's go. Kiwi CAD, 4. I don't like that. Even though I got a 4 for a buy, I don't like that there's no COT data. Let's go look at Kiwi CAD. So Kiwi CAD over here, you can see they're coming down, right? You can see there's the red arrows. Kiwi and CAD both coming down. Okay. Now that's also interesting because they're both coming down. Same with gold. And that kind of gives me a sideways vibe. I want to see one of them going up, one of them going down. That seems like they're both going in a bearish direction. Okay. Not a massive fan of that. In terms of COT data, though, you can see 0 coming through neutral. Not a fan of that. I want to see this number change, either come to bearish, but I'd like to see some, I want to see some neutrality in these numbers here. Even though they're different amounts, I would like to see the traders buying one and selling the other. So even though it says buy, kind of feels neutral to me, especially with that COT data being 0. Okay. Look at how you can analyze this data, friends. And we do have, let's look and see. Where are we right now? March, we've got price coming down. Okay, cool. That over there, down. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm like, I don't like the 0 over here. I don't like that neutral. I don't like that neutral there. I'm going to leave it alone. Okay. Let's go, just for interest sake, let's go take a look at Kiwi CAD. What does Kiwi CAD look like technically? Is Kiwi CAD sideways? Everything says right now Kiwi CAD would be sideways. Let's take a look. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Fantastic. We've got people selling and people selling, right? We got bear versus bear. And that's what it says. Positions are dropping. Even though it's bullish, our positions are dropping. So now you can start to see, why is it when I log onto QuantBox and it gives me a bias of buy and I go to my pair, it's not massively bullish. I just see sideways. Look at this data over here. Okay. And then to understand this data over here, look at this data over here. Okay. Fantastic. All right, cool. Let's leave that alone. So Euro Swissy 3 coming through 3 with a 2. Fantastic. You like that. Okay. Let's go look at Euro Swissy quickly. Euro Swissy, we got longs increasing. Okay, on both. Again, I don't like this. All right, cool. So Euro Swissy, let's go. All right. Yeah. This is sideways nonsense. Okay. And that's a sideways nonsense. You can see here, looking for a buy, COT data bullish. This is one of those cases where you did buy down here, you're still in the trade. Okay. Excuse me. Sometimes what you're using this for is not to get in now, but to stay in. Okay. Let your winners run, right? So be aware of that. Okay, fantastic. Let's move on.com. So all these neutral things. Now you can see here's neutral, but you got two, right? So let's look at Euro Aussie. So coming through neutral, even though we got COT data bullish, right? So you can see they're coming through neutral with a score of two. That's what we can see, right? So you got that over there. Buyers increasing on both. So have a look and see, like, does this now go back to neutral? What happens to these guys over here? Right? Pay attention to what's happening with them over the coming days. Let's not go through all the neutral pairs, though. Let's go through our yens. Pound yen, CAD yen, Aussie yen. Okay, pound yen, CAD yen, Aussie yen. Right? All COT data zero. Not going to touch those. Not going to touch them. But now what I can do is I can pay attention to these pairs and see, do I get a change in that fundamental data? Right now, where are my yen pairs going? Let's take a look. So yen pairs, I've got Japanese yen. I've got CAD yen over here. Okay. So CAD yen over here coming through -4. COT data is zero. So, okay, zero change on CAD and Japanese yen coming down. Okay. That's interesting. You saw something different on the other CAD pair. Let's have a look at pound yen. Okay. COT to zero. Sorry, it's over here. I was looking in the wrong place. I think I might have been. Yeah, okay, I was. Okay, so sentiment. Okay, so both bearish, both coming down. That's why it's neutral. Both selling. CAD yen. Oh, both selling. Okay, cool. I made a mistake. So yes, both bearish. Selling Japanese yen, selling CAD, bearish. That's why it's neutral. Okay, now you can see why it's neutral. So we're going to leave that alone. Well, it's not neutral to sell, but that's because it takes everything else into consideration too. Okay, so we'll leave that alone. I'm not going to trade zeros. Pound dollar. Let's take a look at pound dollar. Bearish. Okay, we've been waiting for pound dollar to come all the way up here. Okay, we're waiting for it. We were waiting for price to get to the resistance over here. You didn't get a lower low, lower high. We're at the top of the range over here. Okay, as you can see, not the situation right now. And yo, what do we got? I mean, you could wait for price to break and then pull back and sell. I don't have resistance right now. It seems like price is at support, even though I wouldn't buy this. No, not a chance in the world. I have to wait a bit longer. See if price comes up higher, or alternatively, if price breaks the support, pulls back and touches resistance. Okay. You can see the resistance up there. Why not? I don't care. If price pops up to that resistance, profit taking zone, take it down. Lower, low, lower, high, lower time frames, hundreds. If it breaks this and pulls back, also same story. No problem. No problem at all. Okay, Aussie Kiwi, zero. I'm not going to touch that. Let's look at Aussie Kiwi for a second. Again, it's my personal preference, friends. The reason why is because I'm not going to trade something unless I've got institutional traders on my side. You know, I hear you in terms of all this bearish data. Fantastic. What are the institutional traders paying attention to? And you can see here, this is a great scenario. You got increase in bullish Aussie positions, an increase in a decrease in Kiwi bullish positions. So we could say taking an increase in bearish positions. Okay, that could be profit taking though. So that's what I like to see. Nice, beautiful, a green arrow and a red arrow. Okay, love that. But where's my COT? Now, what you could do is you could realize that if you wait for this to change, because you've now got this beautiful thing there, you wait for this to change. By the time it does, they've already changed it technically too, because they've gotten in, they've changed their positions, and that could happen this week, for example. So what you could do here is you could say, like, I like this over here. I'm happy with that. And I like my spread. So let's go take a look at the Aussie Kiwi for a second. What direction would you like to take this in? Well, take a look and see here. So you can see I'm going to go direction of strongest sell, okay, because everything else is bearish, of course. So strongest sell is I can't sell it here, hey? Can't do much with that, hey? I have to leave that alone. All right, cool. And then Aussie USD, everything looking good. Aussie USD, Aussie USD, Aussie USD. Aussie USD came up to that resistance. Spoke about this yesterday, okay? So you have got a tight range over here. You could be on the M15 time frame, looking for lower low, lower high. There's your resistance, okay? If price comes up there, now you obviously you can see left-hand side. Oh, apologies. I just did it again. What's up with that? M15. So you can see left-hand side price coming out of the support. That's fine. You know, you could be concerned about this over here. Okay. But what you do is you wait for price to get up to resistance. When price does get up to resistance, if it closes at resistance, look at your M5. Is M5 bearish? And if M5 is bearish, is M1 bearish? And if they are, then you take the trade. If not, what are you waiting for? Wait for lower lows and lower highs, right? On M5. Then wait for lower lows, lower highs on M1. Once you've got an indication of bearishness on M15, M5, and M1, take the trade. But remember, it must be within the period of time that you saw the candle close. So you can see price closed at this resistance here at the close of yesterday. H4, if you look over here, that kind of was up here, okay? And we've kind of moved down since then, but it's fine. You can take a pullback sell, okay? But if you're suddenly waiting for the lower lows and lower highs in this time frame, and you eventually, you know, price now suddenly finds itself bouncing at some kind of support down here, be aware of that. These markets, these sideways markets, these gnarly sideways markets are an irritation to trade, which is why I look at a chart like that and I say, why on earth am I looking to trade this nonsense? Okay. You got to just be you got to be really, really patient, wait for momentum. That's what I'm going to do. But you do you, whatever you do, verify, make sure you're patient, make sure you're disciplined, stay liquid. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. And spend some time studying the data on QuantBox and what makes up this bias over here. What are you looking to change? Okay. Specifically in these pairs where we got zeros under COT data. Okay. Have an amazing day, friends. All the best. Bye-bye.